Another thing that I would like to reflect on is during my conversation with the Farus who converted to Islam, he was talking about how that Islam was the choice for him because, for example, one of the reasons is that Islam knocked down the first three reasons for divorce, which is adultery, sexual intimacy, and financial issues. And I was thinking about that because, I lived most of my life in the Arabic Muslim world where laws are inspired by the Sharia law. And I know what is happening, especially in Egypt.
What I find interesting when you look at a lot of the disaster in the divorce system, where I grew up, which is being rectified at the moment, but still not enough, was that in the divorce right now, 8 out of every 10 divorces in the West at this time are initiated by women.
Something very interesting he was saying is that researchers found that men are less likely to file for divorce. And so this, when you look at Islam and how that men have the right to divorce the women, so this just explained to you why this exists. So men have the right to divorce women because men are less likely to initiate the divorce. And it makes perfect sense. And I noticed this verb, file for divorce. Definitely this research is coming from the West or from a Western probably from America, okay, because he's American. So, yeah, men are less likely to file for divorce, but in the Muslim Arabic world, men don't need to file for anything. They just have the right to divorce. So how do they do that? They do it by something called oral divorce. So the man can say, you are divorced, and the woman is divorced. It's called oral divorce because it's just verbal. So what is the consequences of this? So now we applied the Sharia law. Men have the right to divorce their women. And guess what is happening? A catastrophe. There is a catastrophe in Egypt. And I'm talking about Egypt because what I'm familiar with. So many men who, let's say, lose their temper, they are angry, they are stressed, whatever the reason is, they just lose it and they divorce their wife. And then after a while they calm down and then they realize, oh my God, what have I done? I divorced my wife. And they try to find a way out. So they go to the fatwa center. And now the actually fatwa center you can also call. It's a hotline. So they call the fatwa center, please help me, I divorced my wife, what can I do? And they have to investigate. It takes time, and energy. And there is this center that is dedicated for things like that. And they question him, how did you say it? When did you say it? What was... And then there would be one of two solutions, whether this divorce didn't really happen, or they will consider that it didn't happen, and he can feed, for example, 10 poor people or something. Or, no, it happened, and it is counted as one divorce, because the man can divorce his wife up to 3 times. Then she has to marry someone else, another man, and then he can return her. And this is a big issue in Egypt now because of this oral divorce and the amount of cases and waste money and energy on it, that actually Egypt is planning to make a project of a law that state that only, like, you have to certify your divorce for it to really become legal or to be acknowledged. And guess what? This project of this law that is supposed to solve this problem of all those men who are less likely to file for divorce in the West, but when they got the right to divorce, they are doing it. They have no limits, So, as they are trying to make this law, everyone is against it because it's against the religion, right? So it's not easy to, what he said that, because the Farus was telling me that in America now the laws are not good, but they're being rectified. Okay, that's good. But in Egypt, they can't even be rectified because everyone is against them, because those are religious rules or laws. You can't just rectify them. Although it is so clear that oral divorce is just a big mess, but still people are like very attached to the text. Like they don't use their brains to think and rectify, and that's so sad. And it's sometimes actually it's so funny when you see, for example, in Egypt, someone swear with the divorce. So for example, he say, if you go out with your friend, you are divorced, and then if she does, then she's divorced. Or for example, you have to go downstairs and kiss my mother's hand, and I swear with the divorce that if you don't go downstairs and kiss my mother's hand, then you are divorced. And so it is being used also as a weapon against women to just force them to do things. So the man is usually have the power to control the woman, and that's, I don't know, I don't see this as fair. Also, they are using it, for example, if it can happen, like without, if someone is just using the swearing of the divorce. So if you have a guest, for example, and you tell them, I swear to God, I will divorce my wife if you don't finish your food. And then if you discover that this guest, for example, he have health issues, he can't eat too much or something, then you have to divorce your wife. And it's, again, another problem. So oral divorce is a catastrophe, a disaster. So that is an issue. And another thing, he was also telling me about the khula, where the woman has the right to divorce or divorce herself. So she needs to return the money that the man paid for her to marry her, and then she can file for divorce. So the woman needs to file for divorce in the Muslim Arabic world. And the problem is this khula, it's actually a new thing. Khula was introduced recently, in recent years, and it was also like there were a lot of arguments about it. People didn't want it, they thought it's not of the religion, and but then it happened. But before that, women were suffering so much because men, for example, a man doesn't want to divorce his wife, but also he can just go marry another one, and the woman is just staying like that. She can't marry another one because she's still married, and she has no way out. So luckily now they introduced the khola, but yeah, so I was thinking, is it really true that this Islamic system is solving, is connected to reality, and it's solving the marriage and divorce problems? Also, when I think about the three reasons for divorce, adultery, that was knocked down by also the Islamic laws, I really don't see how, coming from Egypt, I'm talking about Egypt, because it is so normal. If you go to Egypt and just integrate in the society a bit, because you can go for a holiday, you will not know nothing. But if you go and live there and try to understand the society and what's going on, and it would be better if you just lived there, and you will have a better view. So women usually talk a lot about adultery, how that my husband cheated on me, and then the other woman say, yeah, all men are like that, it is so normal because they have this uncontrolled sexual desire that they need to satisfy, right? So it is so forgiven that the men commit adultery, while if the woman does it, it's a disaster. So I don't see how Islam got over adultery, because it is happening. and it's forgiven for the man, but it's not forgiven for the woman. And then we come to this dividing responsibilities, where the woman is responsible for the sexual intimacy and the man is responsible for the financial issues. And you hear this and you think, okay, women are responsible for the sexual intimacy. You think, for example, the woman is supposed to create, I don't know, like interesting sexual activities on daily basis, Kama Sutra, you know. She's responsible for this department. But in reality, no, that's not the meaning of this. The meaning is that if your husband wants to have sex, you can't say no. You have to obey, you have to do it. So this is the meaning, that women are responsible for sexual intimacy. So you don't work, you don't need to get money, right? This is not your responsibility, but if I want to have sex with you, you need to be ready at all times. This may be not the intention of Islam, but that's how people apply it and interpret it. And then again, we come to the man responsible for financial issues, and this makes khula difficult. So for the woman, if she wants to have the divorce, she needs to pay the man what he paid her, right? And also she doesn't have income. So if she got divorced, from where she can support herself? So many women stay in the marriage just because of the sake that they're helpless. They have no way to have financial independency. Do I believe that there is a system that solved the marriage divorce problems? No, I don't think so. Life is not perfect, and also it is different from one couple to another. You can't make one system and expect that it will work for everyone. So what I think is that if you want to solve couples relationships, marriage or divorce or whatever, you need to look at each case and think about it in a let's say in an advanced way to find a solution for it. There is something called Lawrence Kohlberg's stages of moral development, right? And on the higher level of this moral development scale is that you need to look at things, look at the big picture and come with a judgment, right? But many people don't have that. So you have the less developed moral stages where you just depend on laws and you depend on rewards and punishment. So this is what people are doing now. But I think the right solution is you look into each couple problem and then you see what is the situation. So for example, once I was flying from Italy to Belgium and a woman was sitting beside me and she invited me to come to her home, and I discovered that she's a family lawyer and she's so successful. She has many branches of her office and she's married to a Syrian refugee many years, like since many years, and they have a child. So she is responsible for the financial issues because she's a successful lawyer. And her husband, who is a Syrian refugee, you know, when he first came to Belgium, he didn't know the language. He didn't have better chances, right, compared to her. So when I went to visit her, he was taking care of the garden, he was taking care of the house and their daughter. He made for us lunch, and they are happy like that. So you can't just put rules and laws on people expecting that it will work for everyone. So from my experience, observations, and living under the Sharia law, I don't see that, as the Farus was saying, that this is solving the problem of divorce and marriage. And this takes me to the idea that sometimes the grass on the other side is greener, right? So because you are not living in such a society, you may look at it from a distance and you think that, oh, that's perfect. But my suggestion is to just go and live there and see how things are. He was saying something important also. If things are not working out, it's because whether people don't understand the laws or they're not applying them properly. So I don't know what he has to say about my reflection on this point. So maybe he has an answer, but so for me, for example, I'm very fascinated with because I already grew up with Islam and Christianity, and those are the known religion in the Arabic world, and especially Islam because it's the religion of the majority. But you see, because grass on the other side is greener, I'm really looking forward to discovering religions which or beliefs that I'm not familiar with. So like the Baha'i religion, for example, or Far East religions, or anything that I never heard of before. But it was very interesting to see Islam from the point of view of an American Muslim, and I like about the Farus that he digged really deep. He really looked into it, compared and researched. I guess that's the right way to do things. I wonder who I will be meeting next. And don't forget to subscribe on YouTube or follow me on Spotify or Apple Podcast, the Scrapbook of Life. And let's see where this journey will take me. If you want to support my creations, I will leave link in the description box and the show notes of all possibilities of support.